saw the new Apple, the laptop was coming out.
Yes.
And I started to agree with you because I guess the chargers for the new phone won't fit into the Mac, so you need like a shit ton of cords.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought of you and I was like, damn it, you might have been right.
The advancements they're doing is a sidestep, I think. It's not anything that's like, holy shit, I need to get that.
Well, I feel like, I don't know, that's, unless you have like something new though, there's really...
You mean a brand new
I
electronic?
feel like now it's kind of hard. Oh shit, I was lighting up. Like it's kind of hard now, I feel like, to really make something that's like, dang, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think the next would be like, not even 3D, because I feel like people don't really, like, I feel like I wouldn't care if the phone did 3D stuff, because I'm like, this is 3D.
Yeah, well, remember that phone that came out that had a little switch? That it switched into 3D?
Yeah.
Dude, what the fuck
that,
was
like,
that?
That never took off, though.
Yeah, but
like,
how the hell did they do that?
I don't know.
A switch that all of a sudden your screen is 3D.
Well, I think it was like your screen was 3D, and I think you got to turn it a little bit, so it might have adjusted like how it was refracted.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Those weird, you ever see those things that you can scratch and they're almost 3D? It goes like...
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's something to do with that.
Yeah, it's just like how like instead of like the screen getting like through the LEDs or whatever they use like straight, it might be like altered a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that never really took off.
No.
Like, it's not a thing anymore.
No, it wasn't. That's so weird, man.
Yeah, I feel like at some point we've had to have like we got to hit like a peak at phones. Like there's really like they have really good cameras, and I mean the cameras get better, but it's like I don't like the camera on my phone is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever megapixel it is, like I can take pictures. I'm like, that's clear. I'm good.
Right. They're really good cameras.
Yeah.
But I think the camera is one cool thing about it because my friend has the 7 Plus or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's 2 cameras on that thing. There's your average camera, and then there's another camera that has, you know how the really fancy ones, you could do the lens and it goes in and out?
Yeah.
That's how good the camera is on that thing, where it goes in and out, like in a microscopic scale. But it's really cool. I think the camera is one good thing about it. But the fucking one hole for charging, come on. And that's a big deal for me because I fall asleep all the time to music with my phone plugged in, with headphones in, and it charges overnight. People go, who's going to listen to music while you're charging your phone? Me. That's what I do all the time. So that's a big selling point for me. And I'm an Apple slave already, so I don't know what I'm going to do.
Do they not sell a double dongle that like you can plug it in and you can have 2 different separate things?
I don't know. They might. But now I gotta buy a fucking double dongle.
Yeah.
And say that word all the time. Got my double dongle over here.
I would buy it just because of it. And yeah, you got a dongle.
You got the double.
I've got the double dongle.
Girls are like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, good old double dongle. Like the left, like I'm gonna go over there. Yeah, I never thought about that. Because then you can't charge and listen at the same time.
Yeah, and that's actually a big deal.
I think they're trying to like change it, but like when I heard that like the laptops like were having like charging things where like they didn't have proper ports for even like the new Apple stuff.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's just getting excessive. Like you knew what you were making. You very easily, even if just one port, like you very easily could have thrown that in there.
Most definitely. Like look at this laptop right here. We're looking at a 2007 MacBook Pro. I'm sorry, 2011 MacBook Pro. Look at all the friggin' ports here. You have your charging, Ethernet, Firewire. I don't even know what that does. Thunderbolt, 2 USBs, an SD card. I don't even know what the fuck that is. An aux cable and a headphone cable. You know what the new ones have? Like 1 or 2, and that's not an exaggeration. Is that what you got?
I got 2 Thunder sticks, 1 USB, headphones, an HDMI, so 3 USBs, and then a SD stick.
Is that a brand new one?
Okay, I got it for my birthday last year. So
okay, I'm talking the new.
The newest ones.
Those
like the ones that they just talked about at the Apple Fest, whatever it's called.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what they were saying. It's like the things on there are terrible.
You share the charging port. You share a charging port with it's not even USB anymore. It's another thing that you have to get attached.
Really?
Yeah. So you can't charge and look at a flash drive anymore.
Really?
It's really weird, man. And I'm gonna double check that because it sounds crazy, but I swear that's what it is.
Yeah. No, I would believe it because I know that they were having like a bunch of weird things on the chargers.
It's nuts, and that's the part that pisses me off the most, and I kind of fall into this category. But people just keep buying it because it's the new Apple products.
Well,
and it doesn't matter if it sucks because it's new and everyone's got one, and I need to get it. I'm gonna wait in line.
Oh, see, I would try to make something last as long as possible. Like if something's new, I don't really care.
As long as it works.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like Apple is just so much better. Like whenever I have to use a computer, I hate it. Like at home we have PC? One. Yeah, I just don't think it runs as smoothly. Like even when that freezes, or like even when mine freezes, like it freezes better. It's like, all right, whatever. Whereas like with computer, I don't know.
I'm with you.
Or maybe I'm just super biased.
Well, I like the interface of Apple.
Yeah.
It's real clean looking. It's simple. Mm-hmm. You can have your desktop look like this with no icons on it. And it looks badass. And you just go down here. I like that part. And it's simple and minimalist like that. Yeah. And that part's cool to me. And I don't know. I've had a lot of problems with PCs, and I've had this bad boy since 2011. Yeah. And it's fine. It's a little slower. I've dropped this thing. I mean, that's been fucked up, but it still works. Yeah. All right, so look at this. On the left side of the laptop, the new MacBook, there's one fucking port.
Yeah, like the dongle port thing.
And look it's USB-C. The fuck? So you got to do that, and then you got to buy this thing to accommodate your USB, your HDMI, and something else.
Yeah, no, like that's what is that? Pure, that's stupid.
What the hell?
Yeah, that's pure capitalism right there. but you can't not do it because that's how we function.
And here's the other side: headphone port. Yeah. You got 2 holes on your MacBook Pro. Good luck.
I mean, okay, if they give you like the connection, then like it still sucks because there's only one of each. Mm-hmm. But I can see that
if they give it to you, and I hope they do. But still, why is that advancing it? What? You just looked like you had a realization.
Dude, I never knew I had an HDMI port on here.
That's really good. Oh, that's cool. See, I don't have that on my old one.
Yeah, because some of the old people I know, there are people that have the older ones, they don't have it. So I always just assumed I didn't. Interesting.
You're like, sweet.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they give you like the connector, I mean, it's not like it's at least it's one of something. Like it sucks, but I don't know. Like I know that they're doing it for a reason. I just don't know if it's like.
But what's the reason?
I think it's to improve the insides. To make everything like more to make it all run better. I'm pretty sure that's why. But I think that it's one of those things where it doesn't make a big enough difference to me. Like if it runs a little quick, I mean, I'm so content with this that I'm like it runs fast enough. It's fine.
It lets you access unlimited amounts of information through wireless frequencies. Mm-hmm. So like it gets the job done for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with it. Like if it can. I don't care if a website loads a half a second quicker. Mm-hmm. I'm not.
Yeah, give it a second.
But like, there's people that will that, or there's also people that just buy it because it's the newest product.
And you know what? I really don't know. There could be some great reason. Yeah. And I'm just talking from what I know. I watched the release thing and
as a standard consumer.
Yes, as a standard consumer. And you know what? I saw a commercial for one that looked pretty cool. It has a touchpad. Have you seen that? Yeah. Up on the front, like above the keyboard. Mm-hmm. And that actually looks practical to me because they showed some video editing, some music editing. You can scroll through the timeline. Yeah. And there was emojis. I don't know if that part is that great of an advancement, but that looks like there's some cool shit going on.
Here's the thing though, is that I feel like they're better off just going touchscreen on the computer. Like so many other computers now have touchscreen capabilities that at this point I feel like it should almost be standard instead of a touch bar.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Why just limit it to this little bar?
Right, especially when other companies have touchscreen capabilities. Mm-hmm. Like especially as like an artsy computer, I feel like it would make them so much better because I feel like it allows for more creative freedom.
Yeah, no, I agree. I wonder if that's a patent thing.
No, I don't think so. Because I mean, so many different Microsoft has touchscreen. I know Lenovo has touchscreen. So it's not like only one company can do it. Okay. Because, I mean, they have touchscreen phones across multiple platforms.
It is, but when it comes to laptop, I don't know. You're probably right. Yeah. But I wonder why they haven't done that. They did the iPad, and now you've got...
Yeah, I don't know. But I feel like that's like something that, if they were to, like the next one were to be touchscreen capable, I think I would be more apt to buy it compared to like the newest one they created.
Almost definitely. And I wonder how much they want for this new one with...
Oh, absurd amount of money.
Let's see.
I'm going to guess like 15 to 1600.
Okay. Starting base model, minimum bare bones,
like
13.
Holy.
Bottom of the line, smallest everything, worst processor. So you're starting at 1300.
That's crazy.
That's a good chunk of change.
Yeah, that's absurd.
And then you look at a Samsung laptop or another brand like that, you could probably get a laptop for $400, I bet.
Yeah, with probably similar-ish capabilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Wow. But it's got the Apple on it.
I know. It's just so nice. Like, I just had so many... The last two laptops that I had, they weren't good. Like, they would... So, where... So how the screen is, it would come and, like, wrap around like an axis like that, but it'd be more clear of, like, a wraparound. And where the top paneling of, like, the keyboard area would rip off, and then so would, like, that wraparound part, like, toward in the bottom of the screen. Like, it would separate from the thing. So, like, anytime I would open it, like, I could see the inside of the computer.
That's cheaply made right there, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, but that's the thing is I don't think they were, like, the cheap... I mean, they were fairly decent.
Yeah.
So
but that's the difference, I guess.
Yeah. I guess you get what you pay for, and, you know, I mean... Like, this is fallen, and I was like, that's probably not good, and it always still works.
They're built sturdy.
Which is weird, because, like, I look at it, like, I feel like you look at it, and it doesn't look like it's... I mean, it's metal, but I feel like
it's got a good weight to it. This is big boy, man.
Yeah, I guess that's different than this. Like, I mean, this is kind of small.
Yeah, what do you got over there? What brand, what year is that? Is that a MacBook Pro?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so it's like a newer MacBook Pro, but not the most recent.
Yeah, like a 2014
Pro.
Or 2015, okay. I think.
I think that's what I got over there.
Oh, you got two. Fancy,
I do.
Fancy boy.
This is my old one, and then I bought that for doing this kind of shit for music production, because this can't handle it anymore.
Yeah.
It really can't, and that's like a processor thing, I think.
Yeah.
The processor is just old, and this was a workhorse for me, man. I ran processor intensive applications on that, like Photoshop, Pro Tools, Adobe Audition. Oh yeah,
because that was like all undergrad for you. It was like all that art technology stuff.
Yes, so that's this crazy. Thing it got the job done.
That's good.
Sure. Yeah, but speaking of Apple, have you ever watched The Imitation Game with Benedict Cumberbatch? It's a movie about the guy who created the first computer essentially in order to decode Nazi.
Yeah, codes. I saw it, but it was a while ago. I wasn't too impressed. Okay, well. Computers are crazy, but like the movie itself, I wasn't too impressed with.
No,
but like conceptualizing like the idea of a computer and seeing all that, absurd.
Right.
Like, cause have you? Well, that's also I don't want to like sidetrack, but have you ever seen Jobs?
No, I want to. I never did.
And like it's the same thing, like just how they went and like changed the computer. It's so weird to think about that, like plugging a chip into a green board and somehow you can push a button and you get letters. Like,
it's crazy.
Like I can't conceptualize that.
Conceptualize the fact that that's only been around for, I want to say maybe like 30 or 40 years. Like the first computers.
Interfaceable stuff like that.
Yeah, dude, what the hell?
It's like
how does that happen?
Just doesn't make sense to me. Like watching Jobs and even like and just watching him plug something in, and then you see him like type and it pops up on the screen. Like I don't know how is that connected? It's
ones
so weird.
And zeros, I think, man.
Which is even crazier to think about. Like it's absurd. And then you think about like not even letters, but just like playing like videos it's like live streaming stuff like that to like the capability of that all because of a little green board.
Think about a video game.
Yeah.
You're telling something like we know this left arrow means left. Mm-hmm. We know in our heads that our left hand is over here.
Yeah.
You can look to the left, but a computer doesn't know that. So you somehow have to program this button right here on this green board means left. And then the computer is not going to be like, oh, okay, left. You have to teach it left.
Yeah, it's like, nope, you're going to redirect it this way.
Yeah, that's like, unreal.
The amount of just crazy processing that goes into it is absurd.
Yeah.
I feel like it's something that we're so accustomed to today that it's nuts. And then you look at like something like The Imitation Game where you look at like old computers where it was like there are these things that would take up massive rooms and then you would like it would just like you would push stuff in and it would have to print it out to you. Like you couldn't even have a user interface. You just had to hope that you're pushing it in right.
Yeah.
It's oh man, it's nuts.
And now we have it in our pockets.
Yeah. Like,
in a 3-inch by 5-inch machine, and then you get pissed off. Oh, I can't get into the Wi-Fi's not working. I can't access Google.
Like, one second.
Like, do you even know how that's happening? No, you don't.
When was the first computer?
Let's take a guess. Hold on. First
computer.
I want to say like 1977.
Oh no, it was before that.
Okay, we'll see.
I would say.
Oh, interfaceable computer or just computer?
Just computer.
Okay, I'm gonna go 50s. 1950. 1950.
Like 1935.
Okay.
1946.
Wow.
Was invented by J. Presper Eckert at the University of Pennsylvania and began construction in 1943 and was not completed until 1946. It occupied about 1,800 square feet.
What does that look like?
I don't know, but it sounds kind of big.
Yeah, it sounds huge.
Because it would have to be like 90 feet by 20 feet, because you figure that area would be that'd be like the area of it.
I could visualize that. That's probably
right?
I don't square feet is a very abstract idea in my mind. When people say 100 square feet, I'd have no fucking idea what that means.
90. Yeah, so 20 square feet. So like lay.
We're talking foot by foot cubes.
Yeah. So
1 foot by 1 foot cubes.
Yeah. So say like
tiles.
So 20 feet left to right and 90 feet front to back.
So yeah, that's big.
Yeah.
That's real big.
And the stuff that could do was probably terrible.
It probably took days to print out something very simple.
Yeah. And now, 1946, so that's what, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 0. So 70 years. We went from something like that to,
Apple Watch.
Exactly. Where you could text and call and talk into a watch. And
it's crazy.
Absurd.
Technology, man. And I was talking about this the other day. The internet is in its infancy.
Yeah.
It is so vulnerable still.
Oh, 100%. Like, we think that it's like the best it's the best it's been, but like I feel like people are so accustomed to it that it's like, yeah, like it's the best it ever will be. But we're in the very beginning stages.
Heck yeah.
It's crazy to think about. Like, do you remember when Web TV came out and you had like a keyboard that you can put on your TV?
No.
And we thought, oh man.
Web TV?
Yeah, it was like email, and I think you could do like basic internet stuff. Like, it wasn't good. Mm-hmm. But it was essentially like a keyboard and a responder. But the responder went to the computer, so you're using that as like your monitor almost.
Oh, okay.
And I thought that was like crazy. And now we have like I can watch something on here, stream it to a little black box, my Apple TV, and then I can play on that, and I can like watch something completely live.
Jeez, man,
it's absurd.
What a time for technology. Mm-hmm. If you're in that field, good luck.
Yeah. Oh my
gosh. Hold on and ride the wave, man.
Yeah, it's crazy what's gonna.
You know what trips me out when I think about the. Apple TV might be the same thing, but I have a Chromecast.
Yeah.
So you go from your computer to the Wi-Fi system, and the Wi-Fi sends it to your TV via HDMI. Yeah. So that is traveling around your house, and then it's on your TV.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
Weird. And it's so easy. You buy a thing, and you plug it in, and it just does that.
Well, did you watch the thing I sent you? The video?
Which one?
I was like 2 or 3 days ago. I said, you have to watch this.
No, I didn't.
Oh my gosh, man! So it's there's people that are like hyper electrosensitive, or they're electrosensitive, so they can't be around like any Wi-Fi. Otherwise, so they move. Okay, so they're like super electrosensitive, so they move to this town in like Pennsylvania or Ohio or something like that because there's the world's biggest telescope there, and it's based on radio waves, and they can't have electricity running because it'll interfere with it.
Oh, so they all have to live there.
Yeah, so they'll move there because there's no waves or like there's no electricity there, and that's like the only way they can function. Like some guy was talking to a lady about it, and she noticed that her hand, like he saw her hands were swelling up and getting real red, and she looked around and she's like, someone has a cell phone in here, and
dude, what?
And sure enough someone had it in, like, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. Or like they have to have like dead rooms where there's like the houses aren't wired, and like one lady said she could feel like if someone was walking in front of her house with a cell phone.
Dude, how did that develop?
I mean, I think And they were saying, like, it's like just because we take electricity and all this stuff for granted doesn't mean that it's not affecting us.
So can she be in a room with electricity, like a lamp?
She said that no light, stuff like that. Yeah, she said it'll bother her. I mean, I think some of that is like a little bit psychosomatic, like in their head.
Yeah.
But I very well think that you could be like very sensitive to
allergic
that.
Almost.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, like, I mean, your body's not meant to be like, if you figure just even watching TV, like you're not meant to sit and focus on something in front of you this long, like, because just like how like screens can give you headaches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like your body's not meant for that. It throws off everything in your brain.
I don't know if you could say it's not meant for it, but it wasn't designed for that.
Well, if it's not designed for it, it's not meant for it.
But then how can you even say that? Who designed the human body?
I think it's like you
said, it hasn't been like that up until this point.
Right.
That's what you could say.
Right. Well, because we're meant, like, our body, like, if you look at like where we came from, we're meant to be like active and like, I don't know, foraging and hunting and all this shit.
Yeah.
And we're not meant to be sitting down for 8 hours a day looking at like a little box.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
that's so weird, man. I wonder how that woman,
like, our body like it hasn't evolved for that. Like, it's evolved for like being active, like hunter gatherer stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we were meant to move. We're not meant to, like, we haven't evolved for this yet.
See, but I'm struggling with that because you could probably say when they invented the wheel and they started using that, people were probably like, we weren't meant to be pulling stuff on a wheel. You know, we were meant to carry it on our backs. And then that evolved to cars. And then people were like, we weren't meant to travel at 60 miles per hour down a flat surface. It's not good for you. So how can you say like you weren't meant for it? It's just almost how we've evolved.
Not yet. I mean, but like how quickly we're advancing with technology is
unnatural.
Well, I don't think our human form has kept up with our evolution with the technology. So I think we're still in like, okay, because the first computer was 70 years ago?
1946.
Yeah, so before that, we weren't looking, like, we were still, I don't know, we weren't looking at screens. We were more active.
Who's to say that was replaced by books? Like, people might have said at the time, you're not meant to be staring at a book all day. This really close to your face.
You're not supposed to have a book. Like, you're supposed to give yourself eye breaks.
You see what I'm saying, though? Like, there's probably always had been something throughout history where people were like, we weren't meant to do that all day.
But, I mean, you're not reading a book for 8 hours.
Who's to say? Back in the day?
I don't...
You kill some time in the winter? I mean, 8 hours, yes. Who's watching TV for 8 hours? I don't. I don't think you do.
People that work 9 to 5, they're sitting down at a screen.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was thinking physically watching TV, just sitting there.
Oh, well, I mean, figure that's what you're doing at the office.
But you're being stimulated. You're typing and the stimulus. You're not just like staring blank.
Well, I'm not talking about just like mental activity. I'm saying just like general like physical activity of it. Mm-hmm. Like we're not meant for it.
Yeah. Well, they're supposed to be active. With the lights. Fluorescent lighting is not really natural.
It's not good for your brain. It's not like people get headaches. I get headaches from them.
Do you?
Yeah. And even just like looking at a screen all day, my eyes will just start to like space out.
You know, we got it at my work is something because we have those. Is it fluorescent? Fluorescent lighting. It's a tongue twister. We have like a real thin blue sheet that goes over them that kind of mellows them out.
Really?
It's really nice because I work in a room that has no windows. And
really? That's crazy.
It sucks. It really sucks. And some rooms have these big windows and they can see outside and stuff. But yeah, I'd say there's two classrooms in my school that don't have any windows, and I'm in one of them.
Is that just for like a sensory thing for the kids, or?
No, it's just the building, the building design. But the blue thing up top is a sensory thing. Mm-hmm. But still, like
that's nuts.
But we go out of our classroom and go outside sometimes. We do nature walks, but it's kind of cold now. But we walk around the school because our kids would be like, I'm like need to get out of here, and we're like, okay, let's go.
I think but that's what we're supposed to do. We're like meant to move.
Yeah, I see what you're saying with that.
Because, I mean, if you want to say that we're meant for technology and like the life that we have with it, I mean, sedentariness is a major cause of heart disease.
Yeah. Which
is so just like sitting still and not doing anything. Like you're supposed to move.
I agree. It's just if for some reason I'm getting hung up on the like you're meant to. Because I don't know, man. I think. It's so interesting. Like, I wonder if
for our optimal functioning, I think that technology can have like a place, but I don't. It's overtaken way too much.
Yeah, it's way too big.
Yeah, it has too big of a role.
Exactly. You think if, like, Steve Jobs, for example, or Alan Turing, who was the guy from the Imitation Game, or whoever the computer guy was, you think if that person were never born, do you believe in, like, the butterfly effect type thing? Like,
like everything changing?
Like, we wouldn't be sitting here right now had that guy never been born.
I mean, yeah, to some point. Well, you have to say yes, because just the role that technology played a big role in, like, cracking one of the codes for Germany. So if you were to say that, you could go down, like, this whole thing of, like, well, we could just be living in fucking Nazi America.
Right, maybe Germany would still be a superpower.
Exactly.
And we wouldn't be able to broadcast how we are right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so cool. You think of one person, just a clump of cells. If that person had never been born, then we wouldn't be sitting in this room. This house might not even be here.
Yeah, it's so weird.
We might not even be here.
But I mean, you have to look at it, and it's almost like it's, I don't know. I think that's like how it's meant to, like, it didn't happen because it wasn't meant to happen. I don't know. Kind of like, I don't know, this whole thing where like it's just life. Like, you can't fuck up life, or life can't fuck up. Like,
life can't fuck up you.
Yeah, like it's just like it's gonna happen like how it's gonna happen, and that's how it's supposed to happen. Like, it's not.
You think everything's predetermined? You're like, you asshole. Why did you ask it?
No, because this is ever since taking, like, a philosophy class, I thought about it, because I always thought, like, no, we have free will, and then I'm like, well, and I I thought we have free will to choose what you want to do, and then I thought, like, about what I think, like, how everything, like, is meant to happen, and I'm like, well, if it's meant to happen, that means that it couldn't happen any other way. So I don't know. I honestly can't. I feel like I should have an answer for it, and I feel like I can go both. Yeah, because I feel like we're humans, and, like, we can act like however we want. Like, we have that complete capability. We're only controlled by, like, our thoughts that control how we act. But then at the same point, I feel like if you say that everything happens for a reason, then you can't say that you have free will, because everything was, like, determined to happen that way. Or I don't.
I know what you're saying, man.
What do you think?
If I had to pick a yes or no, I'd pick yes.
Yes, everything's are predetermined?
Yes. If I had to pick, but I don't feel strongly about it. If someone was like, you need a yes or no, there's no other option, I'm going yes.
I think that, I think I would have to lean more. Dang.
It's a good question, man. It's very philosophical, no doubt.
And it's like, I always think about it, and I just can't come up with I hate it, because I'm like, I feel like I can't come up with an answer, and I'm like, this is something that I should have an answer, and I don't know, because I feel like I could sit here and I'm like, if I wanted to, I can just get up and leave. Like, nothing's holding me here. Like, I have the ability to do so. But in my head, I'm like, if I were to do that, I would do it I would say I would do it because I can. So, like, the whole reason that, well, I can do it, so I'm going to, directed me in that action. And I feel like also, if I were to do that, like, I was doing it because that's what's supposed to happen.
Right.
Like, just in, like, the whole idea of, like, Taoism, where, like, everything happens, or Taoism, like, everything happens, like, the way it's meant to. Like, water doesn't rush, it just does its thing. Even, like, the rest of nature and, like, stuff like that, like, it just does what it's supposed to do. I feel like we're just another animal that just does what it's supposed to do.
Does what it has to do.
Yeah.
Whenever I think of that, I go to the whole Elon Musk thing where he, simulation.
The Matrix.
Is everything a simulation? I saw what's his name? Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah.
Recently said that our existence as human beings is probably a simulation.
He said it too?
Yeah, he goes, it's probably a simulation. And I was thinking about it when I was driving earlier. It totally could be. Just imagine, like, going back to a video game.
Yeah.
Think about everything that goes into programming a video game. The textures. I went to school with some guys who program video games, so I kind of know a little bit more about it. But when you're building a video game like that, like first-person shooter, think of Halo.
Yeah.
You build, like, the textures of walls. You throw in little details. You build grass in. You build wind in and stuff. And it's very realistic. Who's to say when I'm driving down the street here, all these little details haven't been put in by somebody, and we're just living this game of life. And when I stand up to go to the bathroom, that was somebody going, stand up.
Yeah.
And I truly feel like I came up with it, but it was an outside force.
Here's my thing, though, because I've thought about it too. I mean, it could be, I guess, but I don't know. I don't think, like, I don't know, because I feel like maybe just, like, a whole, like, we can't be smarter than, like, what we're programmed for. But, like, even if our closest thing is, like, VR, like we still haven't we can't like I feel like in video games you can't feel texture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah, no, we haven't come up with a way to do that yet.
Yeah.
But they have come up with. Have you seen? It's virtual reality. So you got the goggles on.
Yeah.
But now you're on a treadmill and stuff, and you're walking.
So there's like a sensory vibe.
There's like physically move the controller and stuff like that. So and then I don't know, but I imagine when you get hit, the little vest you're wearing vibrates or something.
Yeah.
Like how much more realistic are we gonna get with that, man?
I don't know. Well, I don't know. I think it's. So I feel like technology is advancing at like such a crazy rate, but I feel like us as humans are like like evolution is just happening, and I feel like we're like whenever you think of like a human, like at least me, I always think that it's like okay, we're like top dog, but we're still evolving like any other human.
Yeah.
So it's kind of curious to think about of like well like what are humans gonna because I don't know I like think about it I'm like where's the next evolutionary thing going to come? Like, what are we going to have to do that's going to physically change us so that we can keep adapting? And I don't know what it is.
Well, I think of that lady who's allergic to electricity.
Yeah.
That's freaking weird, man. Because she has to live like it was 200 years ago.
Yeah.
Like 1800s, like no electricity. And her quality of life is so different from ours. Because she's allergic to a invisible frequency.
Not allergic, but she's... I guess allergic, hypersensitive.
I keep thinking of allergic, but she's hypersensitive.
Right. Yeah, that's like what analogy is. It's like hypersensitivity.
That's nuts, man.
Yeah.
That is so...
Crazy.
Imagine that becomes a real problem because of everything we got going on in our house. We're just in this hive of electricity.
I don't...
That would fuck everything up. They would change the entire world.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's kind of like the whole like microwave radiation thing. Like, you're not supposed to stand too close because it can mess with you. Dude, or even like X-rays, you can't be in there because it's just like another waveform. Yeah. It's more powerful, but who's to say that this isn't? Because I mean, we're like all we are is just like a wave. Like,
all we are as humans.
Yeah, because I mean, like all matter is energy, and we're just fucking different pieces of matter.
Yeah.
So I think that I don't know, like it's weird. I feel like we take it for granted way too much that it's not impacting us at all.
Most definitely. Like imagine a world where we're all of a sudden we've just been pumped up with so much electricity that all of a sudden almost everybody in the world develops a hypersensitivity to that frequency, and there's like they have to put on hazmat suits and the government has to step in and you have to remove everything from your house, the cars, the microwaves,
because we're too,
and they install these
like new stuff,
an oven, like a fireplace to keep you warm, and now where are we back to? We're back to fucking killing animals.
We're back to where we're supposed to be. That would just be like the ultimate way to show that it's like, nah, dude, you're not supposed to have that.
That's a TV show.
Just what people...
Yeah, right there. That people become... I keep forgetting the word.
They have those shows. I mean, not the hypersensitivity people, but I mean, they have the shows of the people that live in... I mean, those are obviously like drama... Like those are a TV show.
That's a genre of show already?
Yeah. Well, no, it's just people like people live in Alaska, people live in like the Arctic and stuff like that because it's like the most like natural place, so they just do that.
But I mean, they got heaters, man.
Yeah,
maybe I don't know.
I mean, no, I think I don't know. I haven't watched the shows enough because I'm always like, because like I know that people do it, but I figure if you're on a TV show, you're getting some sort of assistance. Like you're not living completely naturally.
Oh, for sure. They're helping out a little bit. Like Man vs. Wild was proved bullshit. It's a good show, but it's bullshit.
I mean, I think that it's almost... I think you have to balance it out. Like, technology can be very beneficial, but I think you have to do it in moderation.
In the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and moderation is definitely not having a device strapped to your hip all day.
Yeah. And, I mean, I think it's just because it's so new that we don't know, like, the dangers of it, and I think that, like, anything will kind of, like, go to the very far end and be like, nope, that was a little too much, and we'll come back to where it's supposed to be.
I think you're right. That's probably where we're headed.
Yeah.
We're going to be like, holy shit, we overdid it. People are becoming allergic to this.
Yo, no lie, I honestly think that's how America's kind of going to be. I think that we're kind of getting to like...
We're building up.
Well, I mean, not even America, but I think we're just too big. And like...
Everything?
Well, like, just like America itself is too big to have it, like, like, I honestly, like, the Earth is so populated. I think everything is too big now that it's like we're just it's not an efficient, like, especially our government, I don't think it's an efficient way of doing it. So I think that we're kind of reaching like that tipping point, and shit's kind of going to hit the fan, and it's probably not going to be good, but I think that we'll kind of like reorganize ourselves to how it's supposed to happen.
Most definitely.
Because I hate to sound like so grim, but I mean, like, other countries, or like, you look at like other empires in the past, they've fallen. Like Rome fell, Greece fell, like, it's just like a thing. Like, we
Julius
think
Caesar,
like
crazy leader.
Yeah, like, we think we're so impermanent, or we think everything is so permanent, but I mean, like, if you look at history, it's just a repeating cycle.
Yeah, and wouldn't it be so fitting that Donald Trump was the man?
I mean, it's not even him. Like, I think it could have happened to anyone. It's just kind of like where it's like, again, it kind of like it took the path that it needed to take.
Yeah. To
kind of help us realize, yep, that did not work. We need to. It's like anything. It's like how people say like your biggest challenge is kind of like show you who you really are, and it kind of like helps like make that struggle worth it. It's like, oh, so it's like something bad happens. It's like, yep, wasn't supposed to do that. Learn from it, and I think it's just everything just happening to help like make everything for the best. Like you.
So what you're saying is to make America great again?
Yeah. Yes. Essentially, we need something terrible to happen to make America great again.
As you were saying that, I was just thinking like,
yeah, but I mean,
synonyms to make America great again. Like,
I mean, maybe, hey, maybe that's what the universe is saying. It's like, we're gonna make America great again by making this person your leader, and it'll be terrible.
Weird way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I saw that, and I'm like, well, we're probably gonna have a downfall, but I think we'll kind of like something good will come out of it. Mm-hmm. Like, I think we need to be like smaller regions. Like, I think the whole like electoral system of like electoral college in one state, like states and all this stuff for one person. Like, we have like 700 million people or something like that in this country. Like, how can one person, and how can, even if you want to look at Congress, it's like 400, like 500 people. 500 people for 700 million. Like,
it
that's
doesn't
not
make any sense.
Like, especially because like it's so population based, but I feel like the population isn't like, it's just a weird way. Like, I feel like we should do like regions. So you have like, it's like 6 or 7 regions, because you figure within those regions, for the most part, like those people will think the same. That's just kind of how it is. Mm-hmm. So at least this way you can have like, maybe like have like smaller tier governments within that too. So say like if region 1 is 1 million people, there's like hierarchical steps, and then they have like one person representing them, and then it's like 8 people come together, say, okay, what's best for the country? Something like that.
The Hunger Games.
Is that it?
You ever seen those movies?
No.
You just described the plot of the Hunger Games perfectly.
Really?
There's 13 districts, but here's what happens in the Hunger Games. You never seen the Hunger Games?
No.
Oh,
I never read the books.
They're good.
I don't read fiction.
There's 13, right?
Yeah.
District 1, here's what happens. All the fucking rich people and the well-off people are in District 1. They have a metropolis, a beautiful city. Katniss comes from District 12 or 13, where it's shitty. She makes bread, there's no grass, it's muddy, it's in the cold part. So that's what happens. And then there's all these individual governments, but then everybody turns against District 1 to overthrow them because they go, this is bullshit. Why am I living in Minnesota?
But that's like America now. It's like, that's kind of what it is. It's like
there's 50, you know.
Well, I'm not even saying like that, but if you look at like 2 to whatever it is, kind of like trying to overturn everything, that's kind of what, I mean, that's like what Bernie Sanders was. It was like the redistribution of everything. But I think like, I don't know, because I feel like wealth is so dispersed throughout the country too. I mean, obviously, like a lot of it's in New York.
You're saying it's well dispersed?
Yeah, because I mean, not like person wise, but I think region wise. Mm-hmm. So I feel like if you were to do just like say like Pacific Northwest, Southwest, like Plain State, South, like Southern America, like broken into however that, like I feel like the amount of money in each region would be pretty similar.
I think so, with the outliers.
Yeah.
With the few outliers.
Yeah, there's always like a few
the millionaires. Yeah, you're probably right. That's interesting. I wonder if people in Nebraska, like what the median income is there. I wonder if it's similar.
And I feel like that's also like you can't, kind of what's going on now is you can't let like the money determine it, which obviously is a very idealistic way of looking at it, and it's always going to happen. But that's just like kind of how you shouldn't be basing your things on money. You should be basing your things on like what's best for everyone.
Experiences. Yeah.
Right. Oh, like it shouldn't be like, hey, this company's going to give me $5 million. I'm going to do what they tell me to do.
Most definitely. And I think people probably get caught up in the fact of, shit, I'm here on this rock for 80 years, let's say. Mm-hmm. I got to get as much as I can. I got to provide when I'm gone. You're just planning for the future. I got to get just raking all these resources so that when I die, my family's taken care of. And that's a genuine thought. But where do you draw the line? Where people are now fucking over people because they're in bed with a politician who wants them to just dump the oil in the lake, and the guy's like, "Oh, I know this is wrong, but I need to provide, and I'm going to do this little shady thing."
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's a whole weird. I don't know. It's a bad system. It's dirty.
It's very dirty, and people are realizing that.
Yeah,
I think.
Oh, 100%.
Way more than before, and I just.
I know. I don't think it's a thing that's going to work.
What?
Like what we have now, I think it's just gonna go. I think it's just gonna hit the fan, and then we'll kind of figure out what to do. We're a pretty resilient people. Like I saw something. It was like I was watching. I think it was the best of 2016 program, or not? It was like a 2016 year in recap, and they were talking about like the terrorism, and then they were talking about like 9/11. And some ladies like, if you want to make America great again, you make it like America post 9/11, because like it was one of those things where everyone just came together, like acutely after. Like it didn't matter like what. I'm coming this from a very protected point of view, but I feel like, I mean, there was some hesitation towards like Muslim people just because of like the negative connotation that happened. Not justified, obviously, but there was like that thing. But I feel like it was at that point it was like it doesn't matter, we're just coming together as like a country.
I think
very cute after
that, yes, because I think initially it was like people were pissed no matter what. If you had brown skin and looked like a Muslim, I think people were like, fuck you. Some people. But right after that, sure, I think people imagine a Muslim guy living in New York City. Yeah, like he's built his family there, and he has nothing to do with those terrorists.
Yeah, like he's just as mad as anyone else is.
I think probably initially there was a fuck you to Muslims, but then now, man, when I was in New York City, I had a cab or Uber driver that Dre and I we met, and he was driving us there, and we were talking about 9/11. Yeah, and crazily enough, he was supposed to start work that day or the day before, but like called off or something. Yeah, and he missed the attack in the World Trade Center. He was supposed to begin a job there, and he missed it. But the way he was talking about it was just everybody in the city, like the city shut down. Like nobody went out to eat, nobody went to work, nobody left their house. Like it was a ghost town in New York City because everybody came together and was unified. And he goes, and he was a Muslim guy, and he was like, he's like, it was hard to say if I saw those people that I wouldn't just kill them right on the spot. Like that, he's still angry. 2016. Dude, 15 years later.
They were like that shitty towards them? Or no?
Oh, what he's saying is if he like met a terrorist, like he said nothing would stop him from like attacking and killing that guy. Like that's how passionate he still feels 15 years later. And people still feel like that. Like we're still feeling the echoes of the people's resilience when it came to that. Like they're still so passionate about it. Like look at us, we're talking about it, and it's been 15 years.
Yeah. Well, that's like kids now are gonna learn a lot in like history books.
You remember that, man? You remember that day?
Yeah. It's like,
oh, what a fucked up day.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know.
God. That's such a ruthless way to handle anything, man.
Yeah, like
smashing a plane into a building of innocent people.
Yeah,
that is so wrong.
Yeah, it's like such like a.
What was that going to do? Did they just want to shake up the world?
Well, it was like it was an attack on. It was like an attack on American people because for like a self-perceived, because it's like part of like their like I'm coming from very very limited knowledge, but it's like part of like their jihad.
Right, so, where it's almost like a good thing. You get praised.
Well, like
do something like that.
No, like killing people. Like it's not like it's like how the KKK like skew Christianity. It's like they like take like the message and skew it and alter it on how, because there's like Islamic terrorists now, but there's also Christian terrorists that do things in the name of God, and it's not what it is. It's just kind of it's like
your take on it,
right? It's like an altered misconception of it,
right?
So it's like because like jihad is like part of the struggle, I believe. So like they take that like fighting people and killing others as part of like the struggle.
Jeez.
But it's like an altered.
But it was their spin on it.
Yeah.
It's their weird, distorted spin.
I was actually thinking about before I came over here, and it's so like it's labeled so poorly. Like there'll be a terrorist, like a lone wolf, and we'll call it radical Islamic terrorism. Mm-hmm. But then you look at Dylan Roof, who the guy from South Carolina, who had like a white supremacist kind of like KKK type of view, and it's not radical like American or radical rightist terrorism. It's just a shooting. It's just like you could call like that. It's terrorism. Like that's what it is. Sure. It doesn't just because you can't call it radical Islamic terrorism doesn't mean it's not terrorism.
Right.
Like he opened up on a group of people to create terror and instill panic. Like that's what it was.
That's a terrorist act.
Right.
And it would suck if
it was like a Muslim person that did did do that. It's radical Islamic terrorism.
Right. But
because he's a white guy, nope, it's just a shooting.
Right. Jeez. Well, remember, was it Miami, the shooting at the gay club?
Yeah.
Like, that's just one crazy asshole. And wasn't it, you gotta have to refresh my memory, but wasn't that attributed to Islamic terrorism?
Yeah.
But was that guy even an Islamic terrorist? Or at the last minute was he just like, this is for Islamic terrorism?
I don't know. I think how I interpret, like, things I've seen, it seemed more like a last minute thing.
Yeah, me too. Which is
But I also heard that he was also, like, I'm not positive about it.
Closet gay and stuff.
Yeah,
and
I'm not positive about that.
Hated himself because of that.
Yeah, he wanted to, he probably perceived it as being wrong.
Yeah.
And he, it was, that was kind of, like, one of those, like, desperate cry things. And that could have, I don't know. I don't know enough about that to count, but I think that's what I heard.
Jeez. See, it's crazy how, and was that guy Muslim?
Yeah.
So that's nuts. Like, even if that wasn't his intention, think about a news station could totally broadcast a spin on that. Like, just a Muslim guy, they go, oh, Islamic terrorism. What if that was just a mentally ill guy who happens to be Muslim?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, everyone now thinks we're under attack.
Well, yeah, because, I mean,
it's
like an association thing. It's like anytime anything, like, happens, like, and if they see, like, a Muslim person involved, it was terrorism. But that could just be like a mentally ill person.
Right. Who's to say? And now why you got to drag in a whole nation?
I don't know. There's always been scapegoats in America, and I think that we just found a new scapegoat.
Mm-hmm. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad that that's what it has to come down to.
But I don't know. I was like, another thing I've the more I've been I've been doing like a lot of like contemplating recently for some reason. But the more I've been thinking about it is like we call ourselves like different races, but it's not. We're like one person.
The human race.
Right, like me, like I'm like if you look like genetically, like you could look at my DNA and like your DNA and someone from like South Korea and someone from like Ethiopia, and our DNA would be very relatively similar. Like it'd be like there'd be like slight differences like individuality wise.
Yeah.
You could look at it and be like, nope, that's a Homo sapien. Like it wouldn't be like, oh, that's like that was like an Ethiopian. I mean, you probably could based on like some genetic variances for like where they live.
Right.
But like that doesn't tell you like what country they're from. That just tells you a genetic variance they had for their optimal survival. Like it doesn't like we're not different. Like we're not a different race. We're one people.
We're all the same animal.
Right. Exactly.
If you look at it like that.
Exactly. We're literally an animal, and it's just like, oh well, he thinks a little different than me, so he's different. Like he's not me. Yeah. He's like a different thing. Like so he's like an other.
That's
he
crazy.
Doesn't deserve like my like in tribe love.
You're so right.
Yeah.
You're so right. Like that'd be like saying you take two deer, and one's a white-tailed deer, and one is I don't know any types of deer, but a different type of deer.
Yeah.
And they're like those are both animals. And now you take a rock and a deer.
Yeah.
You can't say those are both animals.
Right.
But people, you take two different people.
Yeah.
And people might look at it like the deer and the rock.
Right.
You got to look at it like the deer and the deer.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Well, not even like that. It's not even like a white-tailed deer and like a dove deer or like a other type of deer. Yeah, it's like you take like a white-tailed deer that has like big ears and you take a white-tailed deer that has smaller ears, and it like that's what it is. It's just a slight genetic genetic difference.
Like they always say the melanin in your skin. That's what it was.
Right, but that doesn't. It's not like the amount of like melanins in someone's skin or like the amount of hair that they produce. Right, it's literally just a genetic difference.
Yeah.
So that for their optimal survival. Like it's not like that's what's so frustrating. So like it's not a different thing. Like it's literally just the same human.
I heard once. I don't know if this is true. I'm gonna look it up, but I heard once that the first people were black.
I think, yeah.
Because the first colonization of people was right on the equator, and I think due to the sun beating down, they had dark skin.
Yes.
So if that's the case,
Yes.
it's so stupid when people are prejudiced or racist against a different
money.
Yeah, you think?
Money. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, like if you kind of look at it, there's this book I want to read called Guns, Germs, and Steel that looks like colonization and like why certain countries are like slower behind. Because if you look at like the smaller countries, like the sub-Sahara, or not sub-Sahara, but like the smaller countries in Asia, like they're more like village based, like they're not as big industry wise. Mm-hmm. And same thing with like all of Africa, like it's not very big industry and it's just kind of like taken advantage of. Mm-hmm. It's because they missed that like the industrial part and revolution somehow. Mm-hmm. And so like they never industrialized and they never got like part of like the big money world. So they were always kind of like taken advantage of because they never had that money to really like kind of build themselves up.
Huh. That sounds interesting.
That's a very like I can't guarantee, like that's just like what I've been told from people that have, like from the book and everything.
Full disclaimer that what we're talking about here, a lot of it, I'm fact checking a lot of it, but a lot of it is almost like bro science, where you're just talking, and it may not be true, but like I don't think any of it's that out of line. It comes from an educated place, but if like right here, I just double checked this right here. It is widely accepted that man's oldest common forefather were dark skinned, and that people became more pale as they moved further north and out of Africa into colder climates with less sunlight. Mm-hmm. So that's so stupid. You got a white guy yelling at a black guy, calling him all sorts of names. Dude, technically your ancestors were the same color as him. Yeah. So shut your fucking mouth.
Well, when you think about it, it's like you literally think you're better just because like the color of your, like there's no difference. It's not like, it's literally just something so trivial as the color of his skin that you think that you're better. Like how egotistical is that? Like there's no rationale for it. It's such an arbitrary, subjective thing.
It is, and you're still feeling the echoes of slavery. That's what that is.
Yeah.
If slavery 100%. Were to never have happened, there's no way there would be words like the N-word or racism against.
I mean, I think there would be, skin. But I don't think that it would. I don't think. Because, I mean, there's, like, racist words for, like, all people. But I don't think that it would be... I don't think, like, that it would be, like, such, like, a demeaning thing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, I mean, even now, like, how after slavery, like, everything that has essentially kept, like, people of color, like, in, like, not subservient roles, but, like, prevent... Like, there's been so many barriers. Like, they've been discriminated against so much. And they have so many barriers that they're still, like, struggling to kind of catch up to white people. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, like if you watch 13th, like, all the stuff in there, like, redlining to keep them in, like, smaller areas, like, and not to mix with, like, wealthy, like, white people, and it's like how all that stuff affects it.
Is that shared? That was really good. Yeah. That was a really cool look on it. Mm-hmm. I like that.
It's, like, a whole, like, I watched that, and I'm like, there's, like, a whole other... It's weird, like, think that, like, there's other, like, because you're always like, okay, this is like life and this is how it is for other people. Mm-hmm. But if you get to like even like a different gender, like a different race or something like that, like there's whole other perspectives on life. Like, with the whole thing in Syria, I'm like, I like try to like when I'm watching the news, I'm like, that's crazy that some people literally hear like helicopters just flying overhead, just wondering when they're gonna get bombed.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'll hear a helicopter or two, like, fly over, like an airplane or two fly over, and I'm like, man, that's kind of loud, like...
It's annoying.
Like, whatever. And I thought about it, and I was like, that's what people, like, over there, like, hear 24/7, and not just, like, hear the noise, but bombs being dropped.
Have the fear of my life could end at any moment. Mm-hmm. Jeez.
That's crazy.
That is nuts.
Like, it's just, like, if you think about it, it's like, damn, man, like... You know, I could be better off, but I could be a lot worse off.
Oh, yeah. Well, people always say white males hit the genetic jackpot.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. 100%.
And it's true.
Oh, without a doubt.
But it's...
A white male in America has I won't say the best, but we got it good.
I would say the best. Who's got it better?
White male in, like, Nordic countries, Scandinavian countries.
Okay, they do have it pretty good over there.
But, like, in general, like, if you're in, like, a
tall white male.
If you're in an industrialized nation and you're a white dude, yeah, you've got it very well.
You're good. You have
for the most part. I mean, you could still be born pretty poor, and you could be living in poverty, but I feel like your in poverty perspective is going to be... I mean, I'm coming at it as an outsider view, but I feel like being a poor white person is much different than being a poor black person. Like, even the opportunities afforded to you.
Well, it all boils down to white privilege.
Yeah.
And
100%.
I got a friend of mine who's black, and we were talking the other day, and he goes, do you believe in white privilege? And I was like, abso-fucking-lutely I do. Yeah. Like, there is no doubt there is a white privilege, and some people deny that. And I think... We have a privilege.
Yeah. Okay.
Due to what happened in history and due to where we are right now.
Here's the thing, though, is that I feel like when people talk about it, they like try to like guilt. Like I've been like guilted for being white before. I'm like, I didn't choose to be white.
Yeah.
Am I glad I am? Hell yeah. But I mean, like, and I'm well aware of like the thing. I can't even say I'm well aware, just because it's like I'm so used to it that I can't even imagine what I'm afforded to me because I'm a white male. But I mean, like, it's not something you should be guilty for, but I think it's definitely something you have to accept. Like you,
absolutely.
Like I shouldn't be like guilted for being white. Like I wasn't.
No,
but it's just like
that's shitty.
I mean, but for me to say like, oh well, other people have it, so I mean, why can't other people do it? Like I was able to make it with my life. Like why can't others?
Yeah.
My perspective is so different because I have so many things afforded to me. Like,
agreed.
And I don't know. I think it's like there's UW-Madison is offering a course now about white privilege, and the course is titled "The Problem of Whiteness."
What do you got there?
Lotion.
Look it up, bro.
Coconut oil. In the class, well, it's closed. It's called "The Problem with Whiteness," and I'm like, that's where it goes wrong. Like, if you're gonna say being white's a problem,
that's a class.
Yeah. Well, okay. So it's meant to like educate people on like the history of like what it's like to be white in America. I mean, even though history is white America, like the white American history of it.
Thanks.
Of like just like the white perspective on life, and then I think it's also meant to educate on like the other perspective of like the people of people of color, stuff like that, or like the minorities in the country and like their view on it, because it's so different. But I think calling it the problem of whiteness is not a good name because that's like that's like a guilting thing. Like it's like. Yeah, you're white, so that's a problem.
And why should we have to suffer for decisions that possibly our ancestors made?
I mean, I think
we didn't do that, and
I think we, yeah.
You know what I mean?
See, that's all. Like, we didn't do it, but we're benefiting from it 100%.
But
100%, we're benefiting,
but not by choice.
But we still are.
But then that's guilting almost.
Well, not by... Okay, but I don't think you should be guilty for it. Like, you shouldn't be blamed, like, your ancestors could have owned slaves, you're part of the problem. I think it's, like, not that to be guilty for, but I think it's just something to acknowledge. And be like, okay, like, there's definitely things that I'm benefiting from. Like, maybe not me personally, but just, like, my physical appearance is benefiting from things in the past.
I feel like that is the same as... So, say... your grandma won the lottery when she was a kid, before you were born, before she had your mom. So now, because she won $500 million, your mom gets an inheritance and you get an inheritance. Should people be mad at you that you have inherited all that money?
No, I mean it's not something to be blamed for, but just something to acknowledge. Like, okay, like this is gonna
yeah, I guess acknowledge it. Yeah, to acknowledge it
and like not like judge others to say like, oh well, it's their fault. Like, so, because I feel like that's the thing where it's like, oh, it's your fault that you're poor and you can't find a job. Like, you shouldn't blame, like, just be like, no, it's not their fault that they don't have a job. It's like, it's not my fault that I can find jobs because of, like, certain things.
Yeah, I don't think anybody should be pointing the finger.
Yeah, not at all. But yeah, I think it's just something to acknowledge.
Yeah, and that's a discussion that you could have with many different people,
right?
And they might feel so differently.
Right, and I think it's something like... just like be aware of the other perspective. And I think that's like more people should be aware of it because like they don't realize that there's 100% like a white benefit of being like, and they're just like so accustomed to it. And I think that like to hear other people's perspectives and like things that they have not been afforded because of like the color of their skin. Like there's this wall at Marquette that has like a bunch of different people, like different nationalities, like men, women, stuff like different sexual orientations, and it's color coded, and it's like never have I ever, but it's like never have I ever been followed by a security guard at the mall because of the color of my skin. Like never have I ever feared for my life walking down the street because of the color of my skin. Like never have I ever been asked like what am I because of my nationality, like stuff like that. Because it's like it's just like a different. And I was looking at that and I'm like, dang, I've never had that happen to me. And like I was thinking about it, I'm like, other people have had that happen.
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind.
Right. And it's just like a whole like other view on life that like you're not like after like a lot of like the police shootings, like whenever I would walk around at night, I'd always have my hood up just because it's colder. And I was walking around, I'd like dark sweatpants on, like a hoodie up, and then my hands in my pockets, like a black jacket. And I'm like, that's weird that I don't have to worry about this, like dressing like that, whereas someone else could, like a black dude could be dressed like that, and people automatically be on guard, and they might think something sketchy of him.
Yeah.
Like just a whole other perspective on it.
I think the best way to solve that kind of thing is not even going out and being an activist and protesting. I think it's just like you just said, like thinking about that and acknowledging it
and just treat others,
ridding that thought from your mind.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not gonna even look at that.
Right. Like just it's like this preconceived like things that like not, I don't want to say preconceived, but like that weren't ingrained with, but like just things that were kind of like subtly fed like through like different outlets and like TV shows and news and stuff like that. And I think you have to like you said, like get rid of that thought and just realize like this isn't like a black, like the stereotypical black man that is portrayed as like a vicious person, like a thug. It's just another human. And I mean, like, yeah, I mean, there's dangerous black dudes, but there's also dangerous white dudes. There's dangerous everyone.
There's dangerous
Like it's like the color of his skin, girls. Guys, girls, like any person can be dangerous. Just like any person could be like a nice dude or a nice lady, whatever.
So that sort of reminds me of I was listening to JRE with Kevin Smith I was telling you about, and they were talking about how marijuana became illegal at first, and he was saying that William Randolph Hearst he had all these trees and wanted to start doing paper on that, so he had some political pull there, and then they advertised marijuana, which isn't even its real name, which means like crazy Mexican tobacco. They advertised that as something that blacks and Mexicans were doing, and they were forcing them to rape women.
Yeah, that's it.
What the hell?
Yeah, it was renamed marijuana.
How stupid were people though? Like that's a dumbass lie. But why were people like, oh my gosh, there's no such thing as free will. They can't make their own decisions. This plant is forcing them to do it. Like when you hear that, don't you just think, bullshit?
Okay, but think about it. So they probably never tried it. They were told that it's bad, and like their only experience with it is like, are these things showing that it's like it makes you go crazy, and it's like
they're taking that as fact,
right? Because they have no experience with it,
right?
So they're like, oh well, it must be true, instead of like thinking like, I don't know about that. But yeah, it's like it was also like, and it was kind of like it was a sort like you said, like marijuana is not its real name, it's marijuana, to make it sound more Hispanic. So that way, like people would associate it with like Mexicans to get a
negative stereotype.
Right, negative stereotypes. Then that way it would be more likely to be made illegal. And that's the same thing with they were talking about the war on drugs in the 70s, and like one of the top FBI guys said that if you want to get the war on drugs, you have to go at, or like to counteract the like the counterculture of the time, you have to make a war on drugs, so that way, because that way you're going to be going after the counterculture. So the war on drugs was essentially like a more like, hey, help America, make America great again, but more aimed specifically at targeting the countercultures and like the minority people, like hippies and Black Panthers and stuff like that.
That was from that documentary, wasn't it? 13th. They said something like that.
Yeah. Well, that was like a news story too that I saw.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he said that the war on drugs was essentially made to lock up like rabble rousers, like the hippies and Black Panthers.
Jeez.
Which is crazy. Like you're gonna wreck people's lives because of some petty ass stuff with people that you don't agree with.
Talk about brainwashing.
Yeah. And just like how can like you say that America's awesome if anytime that there's like dissonance, it's like, nope, you're going to jail. That's what Russia does. Like that's what all these countries that we vilify do.
Just send people to jail for the smallest little petty crimes.
Well, not even that, but they like jail up the rabble rousers, like the people that are causing a fuss.
Yeah.
Like,
causing waves.
Yeah, like they lock them up so that they take away their voice, and like they're always like vilified. But you look, and it's like we've done that here. Like it's such like an like this like almost American arrogance, I guess you could call it. So like the bad things arrogance. Like the bad thing, like it's just like or American like ignorance of like what we do. Like we like will like shame other countries, but it's like we're doing the same thing, but we're just not told that we're doing it.
We get away with it almost. We mask it.
Right, like. If you look at like, so we think like America's like this savior and this healer, but if you look at like other countries, like it's not viewed that way. Like we're almost like how we like vilify Russia as being like super imperialistic. We're kind of viewed that way by other people.
Oh hell yeah!
Like here because I feel like it's like I don't know. I was thinking about it and how like we think that we're like we should be like the authoritarians. Like no one should have nukes except for us. But it's like. who said? Like, why do we automatically think that we're like this great, like we're this like super pristine, clean country that doesn't do anything, so we're the only ones that are capable of having nukes? Like, it's such like a subjective view of like, nope, we should do it.
Well, definitely.
Because if you look at other countries, they're like, they think the same way. They think, no, you're kind of foo-foo. We're the only ones that should have these like massive weapons.
Right. When you're in that country, you're only going to be fed that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Because they're not going to tell you that. Like, okay, like look at like ISIS and like terrorism like that. They're not like, they'll only say, oh, we have to stop these terrorists, so we're going to drone them. But they don't tell you that in those like recruiting videos, they use drone attacks to recruit, to say like, look at this, they attack our civilians, they need to be stopped, they're attacking us, they're attacking our faith.
Yeah, you're only getting one side of the story.
Right, and it's like, I feel like I think of that and I'll see it on TV when they're like, oh yeah, we've increased our drones and our military power, and I'm like, our military power is like what is, from what I've read from different news sources, is what's helping create like these, like what's improving the ability to recruit. Because it's like America, like Imperial America is trying to stick its hands like in our pot and trying to get in our business. Look at that, they're not letting us do our own way, they're interfering with our faith, they're trying to like attack our faith. Like, don't let them do that, come like stop them. Right.
So wouldn't, if you, to flip it around, if you heard that too, wouldn't you be like, oh hell yeah, like look at what they're doing to us?
Yeah. And if you think about it, like if they were flying drones overhead and randomly bombing us and killing like tens of 20 civilians at a time, like, yeah, we'd be pissed too. Like, like it's like we don't think of that other perspective.
We don't.
Like, we're like, oh yeah, the damn terrorists, they're like they're like crazy, like Islam, like we have to ban it, like it's a religion of violence. But it's like, no, I mean, what they're proposing isn't the true faith, just like how the KKK isn't proposing like real Christianity and stuff like that. Like, it's, you have to look at like the cause of it is like, okay, what are we doing, like what are they using to help recruit? Instead of saying, let's like knock out their recruiting abilities, what are they using? Let's attack that.
That's a great idea, man. Don't go for the people, go for their weird brainwashing technique.
Right. And it's like,
and it's way safer. You're not going to kill people.
Yeah, and if you look at it, it's like, it's the drones, it's the military. Like, that's, I mean, obviously very limited like left side views on it, but I don't know, that's just I think like you can't, like doing everything else is like a band-aid. You have to like fix the leak head on. And even, I don't know, it's like that with anything, like even like problems with like America itself, you can't like just like, you can't, so say like all the violence in the cities, you can't just throw more police in, because that's just a band-aid. Like, you're not like, what's causing the violence?
Oh yeah.
Like, it's not, you have to do that, you have to go to the communities and like redo that, so that people aren't joining the gangs in the first place, or like all of this stuff. Like, you can't just say, well, we're going to hire more police and we're just going to arrest more people. No, that's perpetuating the problem.
Most definitely.
You keep destroying the community by locking these people up, and then kids grow up in broken families and they have to turn to gangs, and that's just that self-perpetuation. Like, you have to fix it head on.
Don't just cover it.
Exactly.
Pee break.
No, that was a crazy evolution of conversation.
It's beautiful.
It's like an art form.
That's what I love about podcasting. You lose yourself.
Like, I was going to the bathroom. I was trying to think about what we were talking about, and like we started talking about with computers, and like then we ended talking about like American imperialism. Like, I don't know how the fuck that happened.
But that's what I like about this this format. Smell these candles. These soy candles. That's what I like about this, though.
It's gonna give you a man boobs.
What'd you say?
It's gonna give you a man boobs like soy milk.
Like T-Dog.
Yep.
But that's what I like about the format of doing this. Is it's just freeform. Like, you know, I got some feedback from people about our first one, and they were like, damn, you guys were all over the place. But I was like, yeah, we were, and that's cool, because I don't want it to be a podcast about
like forced conversation.
Yeah, it's cool to see where it takes you.
Yeah. Like,
and that's what's fun about it.
Like, talked about none of the things, but I think like the conversation was crazy. But like, I think that's what makes it so good, though, is because it's so natural.
Yeah,
it's not forced.
And there's no force, and yeah, totally.
What's cool though is that it's like I've told people that we do a podcast, and like, oh really? Like, what do you talk about? I'm like, honestly, like, we just have this isn't anything different. Like, the only difference is we have mics in front of us.
Right.
But like, it's just like I feel like we would be having the same conversation with or without
the microphone,
right?
And that's what's cool.
Yeah,
that's what I like about it too. And honestly, like we're making this for fun. We're not making it for an audience.
We're not making money.
I think it's cool because honestly, you and I are big listeners of podcasts, and we just at least I do. I want to like broadcast that information on a different level. Like, hell yeah, you can get it from the Duncan Trussell Family Hour, or like we're gonna talk about it right here, and then maybe
and then put our own spins on it.
Our own spins on it, and it's not a right or wrong answer really. And that's something that I've been doing lately. Is like some people will talk about an idea, and I don't like when people are like, well, it's just a fact, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, no, that's an opinion. Yeah. I don't like when people say that there's a right way to do something. I mean, obviously, is there a right way to catch a baseball? You have to put your hands up. You have to squeeze. But when we're talking about, what's a good example? Like something else, like you can't always anything with say.
Life. Like, okay, like sports stuff, like sports information, yes. But when people argue about like the best team or the best player, they're like, well, he's got 13,000 points.
It's subjective.
Right. And it's like, okay, well, that's one part, but it's like the best player in NBA history, there's no concrete fact. Like, you can...
Ooh, people from Chicago are pissed.
I know, but it's like, I saw something and it was like...
No, but I agree with you.
Like, I'll hear people argue like, no, man, this dude's so much better. And like, that's such... I mean...
Based on what?
Yeah, like, that's such a subjective idea. Like, there's... like, but people get so attached to those ideas that it's like, nope, I'm right, you're wrong. But that's just how it is. And I mean, yeah, for a few things, yes, there are like objective facts. Like, how many home runs did Sammy Sosa hit in like 2003? That's an objective fact.
65. Well, I don't know if that's right.
Yeah. But it's like so many things are so subjective, and then you have to realize that there's no right or wrong answer. Like, I obviously have my views, but I mean, I'm willing to listen to other people's views on it. Yeah. And I may not agree with it, but I'm not gonna try to argue with it because they have their views. And I mean, I think that's the problem though, is people get into arguments instead of like general discourse or general discussion because they're so attached to their ideas that it's like, no, you're wrong.
It's a power struggle.
Right. Instead of just having like a free flow of ideas. Like, I was talking to someone about climate change and he's like, I think that it's a thing and I think that humans have an impact, but I don't think we're having as big of an impact. And the sirens going off in my head. I'm like,
You just want to be like,
Argh! Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, well, why do you think that? And he was telling me, and I'm like, so like the science, like I didn't want to be like a dick, like, oh, well, the science coming out. And I'm like, so like, what are your views on like all of like the upward trends that have been like greatly increased exponentially since human involvement and like the Industrial Revolution? He was like, I think that's a natural part, and we do have a thing, but I don't think that we're the sole cause. And I'm like, okay, like that's how you think. Like, you have your views, and I don't think like he's well informed on it. He has his views, and I'm like, me saying no, like this is
no, like, you're wrong.
Right, like me saying like, do you honestly think it's a coincidence that like everything increases once the Industrial Revolution starts and cars start being like factories start pouring out stuff like that? Because he knows that, he has information, but at least like now I'm a more educated person on why he thinks that. It's just like a general discussion.
And that's why it actually, the conversation came up with teaching, because we got the head teacher at my school, and then you got paraprofessionals, teachers' aides that help out, and somebody goes, it's like, man, you're way too nice. You got to show them that you can get angry. And I go, no, I don't. It's a teaching style. Yeah. Yes, I think there's benefit to raising your voice sometimes and maybe putting out a little more energy so that they understand that what they did is not right.
Like a little more stern.
Sure. There's benefits to that. But if you're going to do that all the time, they're going to become desensitized to that. So if something happens and I need it to be like, you need to stop that, they're going to listen to me because I don't do that all the time.
Exactly.
But they go, no, you got to do that. And I'm like, you can't say that.
That's such
there's
a
not a right
thing.
or wrong answer.
Right.
And it's like, well, I do it. Okay, that's what you do.
Right, you do it, works for you, cool.
Yeah.
I do this, it works for me.
Yeah, and the other thing that came up was like, you can't be their friend. And I was like, I think you can be their friend.
Yeah, like
for sure. Like I consider all of them my friends.
Right.
And I build a relationship in that way.
Well, that's like that thing that I was talking to my friend about it. It's like people often get like so caught up in like their role, like like teacher student. Like it's like, oh, you can't be the friend, but it's like it's just a different human. Like in this life I'm the teacher, they're the student. Maybe in another life it'll be flipped. Like it's literally just a coincidence by birth. Like it doesn't mean that you can't, like it's like kind of like going back to like different races. Like just because they're younger doesn't mean that they're all different, like a different thing. It's just another human at a different age.
Right. Who
like a 5-year-old bear isn't gonna like. I mean, it might interact like a 3-year-old bear differently. I don't know bears. I just assume nature. Like a deer. I don't think like a 5-year-old deer would interact different than a 5-year-old deer or like a 4-year-old deer.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, all right.
We're deer.
Yep.
I might have more experience than you.
Yeah.
Younger deer.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to tell you.
Right. Or it's just like, I was born a year older. Like it's not like a different thing. You have a different experience, but it doesn't mean your experiences are better or worse. They're just different. Mm-hmm. And just because you're older doesn't mean that you're like it doesn't mean that you're like not like superior because like you are in that role. You are the teacher, so you have like the authority, but it doesn't mean that you're different humans. Like you're still like a human.
And it's like saying, throw me that pad of paper. I have something I want to write down. It's not like I would never say that I am like smarter than anyone either, because it's like for them, like you could say, I'm just thinking of counter arguments like, well, you're smarter, you have to teach them. And there is definitely a role in place. Like I am a teaching role. Like they're there to learn, and because of my knowledge and experience, I could help them learn that.
Exactly.
But there's no. You can't say you're smarter.
You're smart about certain things.
Heck yeah! Like girl in my class does ballerina. She loves doing ballerina. I don't know the first thing at ballerina. So now she's smarter than you at ballerina. I'm smarter than her at math. It just becomes like a stupid little game.
Right. It's like even the word. It's like smarter. It has like this like better and worse. Like it's just more knowledgeable.
More knowledgeable. Have more experiences.
Yeah.
Have been on the earth longer and have probably absorbed more information.
Right. About certain things though, because it's like I think of. Like my parents always say, like, yeah, we're older, like we have more experiences, and it's like, yes, you do, and I will take those experiences into account. But I also have experiences of certain things that are just as valid. But just because they didn't happen to you, the parent, doesn't make them less valid. For
sure.
So, and I mean, not just like parents, like, but it's just like even like friend to friend and stuff like that. It's just like a weird thing we get caught up in, like what we're supposed to do, like this role.
Right, and. It's almost become a pet peeve of mine when people say you got to do this, or you shouldn't do that.
It's like, why? Who says?
Who says? Man, that it annoys me sometimes, and I kind of give them the little speech I do right here, like listen, and then I always retort with, I'm not gonna tell you how to do it. And I don't want you to tell me how to do it. Like, you could bounce ideas off me, for sure, and I'll be respectful with them. Yeah. But you can't be like, you're doing it wrong because you're doing it this way.
Yeah, just offer, like, hey, have you ever thought about being, like, a little more stern and, like, you know, just, like...
Smaller doses.
Yeah, like that. Like, not just say, oh, you're too nice, you have to be more mean. Like, that's such, like, you're doing it wrong, I'm doing it right.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if anything, I would be like, have you ever thought about this idea? Because maybe that way you're bouncing it off, it's not like, I'm right, you're wrong. It's just like, hey, here's another idea I want to share with you. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that was something I wanted to bring up, and I'm glad that like we're like-minded on that, because a lot of people take it as a personal attack, and now your guard's up. Well, I gotta reinforce why I'm right.
Right. Well, it's like you're so attached to like your ideas, and it's like my ideas are right, yours are wrong. It's just like an ego thing. Which is funny that I'm talking about that, because like whenever I see people work out at the gym, I'm like, oh my god, dude, this is terrible. Just like the things I see.
What, like form?
Like form, exercises people do, like stuff the trainers have people do. Yeah. I just look and I'm like, yo, no, bad, man.
So how do you feel like? So how do you feel about that?
Like, oh my god, I'm like, you're an idiot. I just like in my head, I'm like, yo, you're an idiot.
But do you catch yourself?
Yeah, I catch myself, and I'm like, I shouldn't be thinking that, and I'm like, god damn, you're still an idiot. Like, it's not so much like the new people, but like the people that are like that I can tell have been working. Like, I've been going there for like 6 years, and the same people I've seen there. I'm like, they should know better by now. But in my head, I'm like, they don't have the same training that. Like, I have a very specific viewpoint on it because of like my movement science history. So like I have a whole different view on working out. But there are things that are just like objectively wrong. Like a trainer was like, yeah, this exercise is going to work on your hamstrings and your low back. I'm like, nope, can't do that. Those things do two different things. Like objectively, that is wrong.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm like, oh well, she's a terrible trainer, like how could she think that? And it's like, it's just, she might have like slipped up, she might have been mistalking.
You can't define her whole being by that one sentence.
Yeah, and it's terrible now because I can catch myself and I can think, I'm like, I shouldn't think that, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm still gonna do it. Or just like, if I'm ever trying to gossip in my head, before I say it, I'm like, nope, I shouldn't say that, everyone's subjective, they're doing, like, they're not trying to be different, like, it's unfair of me to judge. And it, like, the little voice, like, say it, you know, you want to say it. And I'm like, oh yeah, I want to say it.
And then you say it.
Yep.
It feels great.
And then after, I'm like, shit, I shouldn't have said that, man.
Yeah.
They're just doing their thing.
Yep.
It's like the have you seen like that Kermit and then like the dark hooded Kermit meme?
Yes.
It's like self and inside self. That's what's like, self is like, no, don't say it. They're just living their life. Who are you to judge? Yeah. And then dark hooded Kermit is like, yo, you know you want to say it.
Do it. You might get a laugh.
Yeah. You know you want to feel better about yourself by bringing someone else down. Like, no, I don't. Yes, I do. And I feel terrible.
Hooded Eric.
I know. And I feel terrible. I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that.
See, here's something. Do you ever feel like you, as Eric, are thinking more than other people? Let me try.
Oh, no, I know. Like, the little voice in your head is fucking overdrive.
Yes.
Yes. No, I think that all the time. Like, damn, dude, I am crazy.
I think that too, man. Because I think that I'm always thinking of shit. And I feel weird saying it because I don't want it to come across as like, oh, I'm thinking more than you. I'm smarter than you, bro.
No, it's I don't think it is thinking. I think it's like you're talking to yourself.
It's like a overanalyzation almost. Yeah. Like you just think more, and I feel like it's sometimes a blessing and a curse at the same time, because you could think about shit like that. Like, good example today. Earlier we were talking about I was driving in my car and how we might be a big simulation because video programmers.
See, but I think that's different though. Okay. I think that like a contemplate. I guess it's like.
So what are you talking about? Because I'm talking about just thinking about stuff like that.
So are you thinking more like contemplation of like deep ass topics, or are you thinking like?
Well, what would you consider that thought?
Well, okay, to me that's like a I don't know. See, it's like, because then in myself I'm like judging the thoughts and like they're not different. They're just different thoughts. But I think that like. To me, there's like a difference of like contemplating if we live in the Matrix compared to thinking to yourself like, oh man, what time is it? Oh, I like the song. Oh, I wonder what song is going to be on next.
Yeah,
play the next song. So I think those are different.
Let's consider what time is it? I like this song, like light thoughts. And let's consider the other one heavy thoughts. I'm talking about heavy thoughts.
Okay, I think that yes, I do think that, okay, like knowing you, I do think that you probably think heavy thoughts more than other people.
Right, and I think the same about you, but I wonder in my head, like how I wish I could jump in someone's brain as a third party, as a fly on the wall, and listen in on everything. Like I just wonder, and I feel like when people get caught up in the "you're doing this wrong" kind of thing,
like the light thoughts,
it's like total light thoughts going on.
Yeah. Oh no, 100%. But I think a lot, like not that I'm like some better person for having deep thoughts, but I think a lot of people have more light thoughts than anything. I mean, because that's like it's like the gossip. Like think of how often people want to gossip. I think of how often people want to talk about whether or not life is a simulation.
Yeah, you're gonna get gossip almost 10 out of 10 times.
Right, but I think I definitely think that you think deep thoughts a lot more, because I feel like deep thoughts are like, I think not that they're better, but they're like, they force you to be at least in the moment more. Yeah. Instead of like the light thoughts where you're kind of like spaced out. It's like, oh, this. The deep thought is more like focused and concentrated. Right. So I think that the deeper thought has like more like potential.
More weight to it.
Yeah.
And I was just curious, and I wonder how other people feel. But yeah, I always get caught up in stuff like that. And then it's funny because I would be thinking about something like that, you know, during a class meeting or something, and then my friend would be like, hey, you're spacing out again. And then, so for the way he's perceiving that is like, I wasn't paying attention to what was going on here. But in reality, I was thinking of something way different and like bigger, you could say, than that moment. So to him, he's probably thinking, oh, he's caught up in a little thing. But I'm thinking of something way bigger.
But is there anything bigger than the moment?
Mic drop. No, you're right. It just depends. Like, I guess I think of it as like less significant sometimes.
I think that you should always be immersed in the moment, because that's all we have.
Yeah.
But I think so. Like in that case, I would say I would think it's more important to be like focused on the meeting. Yeah. But I think say like you come home and you're just like sitting, like instead of being like on your phone, to just be like sitting there and like thinking. I think that way you're in the moment, but you're in the moment with the thought. You know what I mean? Like, because like that, you're.
I see what you're saying.
Because like you're still in the thought if you're in class, but you're not in the moment, and I feel like that's like that's what this is. Like that's what life is. It's in the moment.
No, you're right. I should be in tune to what's going on there, but that happens a lot.
Oh,
sometimes.
I mean, dude, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Like I'll be like thinking, I'm like, damn, man. Like after like 5 minutes, I'm like, whoa, that was deep.
Woo, where did the time go?
Like, ooh, that was a good one.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, it's weird. Like it's to the point where like I can't do like small talk anymore. Like
yeah, I don't.
Like people gossip and they're like, man, can you believe they did this? And I'm like, I just stare at them like, nope. And in my head, I'm like, don't say that life is a subjective view on everything. There's no objective right or wrong. Don't tell them. Like everyone's living their own subjective life.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no, I can't believe it.
And then you might be perceived as a dick. Be like, oh,
snooty.
look at this guy. He just gave me a bullshit answer. When in reality, it came from such a good place of good intention.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't know. It's like people like be like like trying to like talk about like the dumbest things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I don't care. Like, cool.
Can you believe what she did last night? Did you see her with that guy? Oh, did you see? And then they went home together. Like,
cool. It's their life. That's cool. Yeah.
And then you expect to be like, oh yeah, what a whore. Like.
Yeah, and they like expect you to like give them this reaction. I'm getting red. But yeah, they expect you to give them like a certain reaction, and then you don't give them the reaction, and it's like. And then they're like, wow, he's a dick. Like, he doesn't, whatever. I'm like, dude, like, I don't...
You shouldn't have to really comment on that. And it's become...
far too common.
Yeah, it becomes, like, the norm.
Right. And it's like, I try to, like they'll, like, say something. I'll try to make it, like, a little deeper, like, a little better conversation. It's just staying superficial. I'm like, okay, this isn't going anywhere. And then
I hate sometimes... I'll try to do something similar. And be like, whoa, like, why do you gotta make it all deep and heavy? It's like because we were just talking about bullshit. Yeah, and let's make this conversation worth something.
Yeah, like let's try to get like a deeper view here.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, see, that's the thing is like, whenever people are doing like small talk, I'm like, dude, I don't want to do this. I'm like, and then I think how we always have like deep conversations, and I think about it, and I'm like, we'll have like deep conversations, but then like there's always like little peaks of light in there. Like it's not like.
Yeah,
because I feel like if you always like keep on trying to go like deep, people are like, oh man, he just wants to be like he's too heavy, all that.
Right.
But I feel like you also have to like us personally. I know that we always throw in like a lot of like well, like it'll be like a deep thing, but we can like joke about it and like still have fun with it, keep it kind of like loose and fresh.
Well, that's why I think I love stand-up comedy so much. Is because that is what it's based off.
Yeah, it's like hitting like the deep things that make you think, but also like making you laugh about it.
Will turn you on your head about it.
Yeah.
Like, here's a concept. Let me lay it out for you. This is what it is. Yeah. This is my spin on it, and now you're thinking like, oh shit, he's right.
Yeah.
You just flip someone on their head, and now it's funny.
And now they're making it like now they're thinking about it, and they can have their own view on it.
Yeah, and that's why it's so funny and paradoxical that comedians are the most depressed a lot of times. It's kind of a stereotype, but it's true. They're very depressed a lot of times, and they like it's so contradicting because you're a comedian, you make people laugh.
Yeah, but it's like you're so aware of like these differences and all that stuff. Like you're aware of like the whole gamut. Yep. But it's so weird because I always used to be like think that like being depressed was terrible, and I think about it and I'm like it's actually kind of cool because you get like the full gamut. I mean, it sucks. Terribly, but it's like I don't know, you're getting the whole view of the human experience.
You're not just riding the highs.
Exactly.
You get to feel both.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I have to figure this out. Like it sucks, but at the same, I don't know. It's just like my fucked up views on it. But it's like it sucks terribly. But at the same point, like I try to look back on like being super depressed and be like, I felt it. I mean, it made me more appreciative of when I'm not. I don't know. It's a whole part of the experience. Why not? It happened. Might as well try to have fun with it. Like the past few days, I've been seeing so many like jokes, like funny tweets and stuff about like people like that are depressed and like anxious and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I felt like this, and like it's just fun to just laugh at it because like why not? Like it happened. Like,
yeah, you got through it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna look back on like being depressed and be like and feel terrible about it because like feeling terrible about it isn't gonna make it better. Like I might as well try to like be like it sucked, whatever. Like try to look at some positives from it. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, like who's to say like going back to the butterfly effect? Like who's to say without that it wouldn't have made me who I am today? Because I know 100% like I wouldn't be who I am had I not had the shit to deal with that I had.
Absolutely. You could grow from any experience.
Oh yeah, 100%.
There's always a positive.
Yeah.
And that's what optimist, pessimist. I almost don't even like those terms because it's like it truly is a glass half empty or glass half full. There's two ways to look at it, no matter what. The most evil, fucked up shit could happen to you.
Yeah.
But you could always pull a little something positive from it, I think, no matter what it is.
I mean, some situations are obviously much harder, and you have to dig a little deeper, and, like, the lesson might not be as clear, like, immediately after, but I think if you can always try to come back and look for something, I think that's just the best way to do it, because, I mean, like, it already happened, so, I mean, I'm coming at it from a very, like, limited perspective here, but, like, something can happen. I mean, like, maybe immediately it might have sucked, but that might have made you, like, a little bit stronger now, maybe, like, 10 years later.
Perfect example. When Andrew's grandmother died, I was very afraid of death. Very afraid. I think we've talked about this before, but I was very afraid of the whole concept. But when she died, I got to know her over the course of a few years, and it was a really interesting relationship because she barely spoke English, but I still had this really cool connection with her through games and through television, and I really loved her. She was a sweet lady. So when she passed away, it was very sad, but it relieved me of my fear of death, because I just seeing the whole ceremony and the church and the incense, and I just realized I believe that there is a life after death, and I realized because she's no longer on this planet, doesn't mean that she's like doesn't exist anymore. Something happened to her consciousness and her energy, and I tend to believe it goes somewhere, or it just manifests itself in a different way, and it kind of just made me realize, and which is such a beautiful thought, but look where it came from. The darkest thing you can think of. Death.
Definitely. Dude, I want to hug you. That was like the most. I like when you're saying that. I'm like, damn. I've been a bad influence on this kid.
Why?
Just now you listen to it, I'm like,
Wait, why do you feel bad? I don't get it.
No, not feel bad, but like it was cool.
Oh, well, thank you. It was. I tell that to people all the time.
I don't know if I've sent it to you, but there's this thing. It's called like you want a physicist at your funeral, and it's like it's the exact same thing. It's like you want a physicist at your funeral to tell the family members that like energy can need to be created nor destroyed. So it's like even though. Or like matter can never be created or destroyed, and same thing with energy. It's like it hasn't their energy and their matter is still here, just dispersed in a different way.
Yeah,
it's just like a whole other.
That's cool that's a established thing, because that is honestly a thought that just came from my brain. Like, there's no way that we right now are talking, our neurons are firing, our body's moving, our muscles are moving. You're gonna tell me right now if like I was just struck down and killed, like what's gonna happen to all that energy that my brain was just pumping out in my muscles? Like, it doesn't just disappear. No way. It's got to go somewhere. I don't know the answer. But it goes somewhere, I think.
It's just so weird to think like of consciousness, because it's like where is it? Like, what is it? Like, what in your brain is connecting to make us conscious? Like, because I like doing like a gross anatomy class and like seeing a body, like it's like I don't know. I was like weirdly okay with it, because I'm like, this like it's not a human anymore. And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, well, it's not a human. It's just like a physical specimen of like a human. But like it's not a person. Like, and I was thinking about, I'm like, well, what makes a person a person? And then when we got to like the brain and stuff, I was like learning about like the senses, and I was like, what like. Where's consciousness? Like, okay, we can say like when something comes in through your eye, it hits your optic nerve, crosses the optic chiasm, goes into the occipital lobe, flipped and all this stuff, and then from there it goes to an association cortex, and then that's what you see. And in my head I'm like, okay, so if senses is this complicated, like for me to see something, it has to go to all these places, and like let alone like what vision is. But where's the consciousness at? And I like whenever I get like super cynical, I'm like, no, we're just physical specimens, whatever, we're here, we die. I'm like, there's just something, like there has to be there has to be something else,
like a soul almost.
Exactly, like that something, like
there's something,
right? Because I mean, granted, we still know jack shit about the brain, but I feel like something as big as and as important as consciousness, I feel like there would have to be some sort of connection. Like if you look at like an fMRI of a brain, you see like, and like you give them like a lot of visual stimulation, you see those spots light up. Like if we just put someone meditating in a brain or in a fMRI, I feel like we should be able to see like parts in there that are just lighting up just from purely being conscious. But like it's not being seen. So it's like what's causing it?
What is it? Yeah, I almost think it's a collection of your experiences and how you relate them. But it's so weird that.
But what is that initial like?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Like, what makes you like that initial thing capable of like remembering all of this stuff and like you? Like, what is you?
Here we go. So say you saw a guy hit a woman on the street. Like, imagine that feeling you would get inside of yourself. Like, that's why I say experiences.
Yeah.
Like, where does that come from? That instinct to be like, what the fuck?
Like that deep, like your essence, essentially.
And that's the consciousness, man.
Yeah.
And just being here, I mean, it's two different things, but just being aware, and then like just feeling that instinctual feeling of that was wrong. Like, where does that come from?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. It's weird. And here's another thing. I was thinking the other day, like, in your head, you can think thoughts, right? Like, I just said your name in my head.
Yeah.
That's so weird. You can talk in your brain.
Yeah.
And you're the only one that can hear it.
Yeah. That's so weird to think about.
So weird.
Oh, man. If people... Oh, yeah. It's absurd to think about.
Thinking is so... And, you know, like... Okay, when you... It's such a weird concept, man. So you can tell yourself to take a breath right now.
Yeah.
And you just did it. You intook air. But when you think, it's not. There's not like a muscle you're exercising.
Yeah,
like,
it just happens.
You swallow. You could think about that.
Yeah.
Or you could think about doing it. But when you think a thought, words in your head.
Exactly like that. Almost like self-talk.
Yes.
Like what's going on?
Oh, that's so weird.
I think. Yeah, I don't know.
Imagine if you could read that.
Read just like
a thought. Like if I could read your thoughts.
Oh man, dude, fucked up stuff. Fucked up.
I'd be like, get me out of here.
I'm like, oh no, don't let it print. Don't let it print. Oh yeah, no.
Thinking is such a strange thing.
Well, dude, even think of a vision. So you're seeing little atoms vibrate here, in like a specific, or vibrating in a specific wavelength.
We're looking at a water bottle.
To see this green.
Yeah.
And then it's coming in through your optic nerve. Just this energy. So your body's the rods and the cones are intaking not like this color and everything. It's literally just like waveforms bouncing back and forth. Yeah. So it's intaking a waveform, transmitting that waveform to electric signals into the occipital lobe of your brain. From there, it's getting electric signals everywhere to association cortexes, and then you perceive that waveform as like a green water bottle.
And that happens instantaneously.
Yep. No, like 0.07 seconds or something like that.
Like really quick.
Yeah.
And then don't even get started with like the color green. Like boom, all of a sudden I'm thinking of Christmas trees. I'm thinking of Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of where I went for Christmas and what I got. What am I going to spend with those gift
cards? The light thoughts.
Boom. Like
yeah.
Unbelievably complex.
Right.
Man.
And then like the different shades of green.
Everything. That is so wild.
Like life in itself. See, life is in itself, I think about it, so crazy. I'm like, this is so wild to think about.
Yeah.
But then I was watching something on Hubble, and they had like a little picture, and I was looking at that, and I'm like, there's probably a couple hundred galaxies in there. And like those couple hundred galaxies probably have a couple thousand, at least thousands, maybe if not millions and billions of stars, just in like a very like small, fucking little picture of the universe. And then you amplify that the universe is infinitely big.
You know what my first thought is whenever I think about stuff or hear stuff like that is? My first thought is, fuck it. Why are we doing anything besides living?
Yeah, exactly. You think about that, it's like, what the fuck are we doing? Why?
Why did we go to school for 6 years and spend? There's value to it, but really.
But like spending the money, like we could very easily get like, like we can get like education anywhere. Like, I mean not anywhere, but like you can get an education so many other ways. Like, it's just like how everything got like compartmentalized to this. It's like we think, oh man, we have to go to college, you have to make all this money, we have to get a big house and all this stuff, and it's like, no man,
you don't.
Just stop to think of where you are. You are literally floating in nothing, floating like. That's space. It's like a vacuum. There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's like crazy waves, like space waves and solar winds and all that stuff, but it's like nothing. Like you're literally floating through nothing.
Nothing forever.
Yeah, on like a little rock that is like infinitesimally small. Like essentially like a grain of sand on the earth. If not, I feel like man, just like relax, let people do themselves.
Yeah.
Like stop trying to like fuck over other people. Just look at where you are.
Yeah,
in
try
80 years,
to perceive that.
Right, like in 80 years, you're not going to be here anymore.
Yeah.
A couple 100 million years, people aren't going to be here anymore. Like, what are you doing?
Enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I think I've had a great conversation with someone. Like, what is life all about?
Yeah, just the fucking our experiences.
I think it's my goal and my aspiration is like just to make this rock a better place during my short time here.
But okay,
don't do things to make it worse for other people.
Yeah.
Just try to make it better.
Just be a good human.
Yeah.
Like, don't be a dick.
It doesn't matter, and we all get caught up in, myself included, material possessions. I want the new thing, and it's cool and everything like that, but...
Hey, you can't talk shit about it. You were part of that machine.
Yeah.
For, what, like a year?
Yeah. Yeah, I was, man.
You were a year of the machine. No, but I mean, yeah, I think it's, like, just don't be a dick. Be a good dude. Be a good human.
Make it a little bit better.
Right.
While you're here.
Yeah.
You know? And that's...
Like, it's not hard.
Yeah.
Like, just be a good person.
Uh-huh. And that is hard for some, and not to say that we've mastered it.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's hard, though, because it's like, I don't know, I think that, like, life is all about, like, the experience. Like, that's what it is. Like, just it's literally just one experience.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you prioritize making your experience good when, like, for instance, how can you justify, like, you want to make your experience good, but you also want to make the earth better, so why should you go on a vacation when other people don't have water?
Yeah. No, you're right.
I mean, I think you kind of got to look out for yourself a little bit before, but, like, just devil's advocate.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, and that's where the guilty pleasures come in. Mm-hmm. But I'm of the mind of, like, if you're gonna work hard, save up your money.
Yeah.
I don't think you should just be this slave machine that just feeds, that is just here to feed the earth. And some people, that might be their mission. And
feed starving people. Yeah.
Meaning, like, you shouldn't dedicate. Well, not to say you shouldn't. I think
it's not
your whole purpose here. You could be somebody who is completely selfless and generous. Like, their whole thing is, I am going to work and donate every dollar to a good cause, and I am going to suffer for other people's wealth. Yeah. That is a great way of living. But I think the way I would do it is, I'm going to save up, but I'm going to reward myself too.
Right.
And it's a little selfish.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I mean, it's just it's different. Like, it's a different ride.
It's a different ride. Yeah, and there's not, like, one right way to do it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's like we were talking about earlier. Like, it's not like that's wrong and hers is right. It's just like I was watching an interview with the Dalai Lama, and they're like, you don't smoke, you don't smoke, you don't drink, you're celibate. And he's like, how do you think that fits in with the modern world? And he's like, no, not everyone should be a monk. Like, if everyone was celibate, the human race ceases to die.
Yeah.
Like, it's not perfect for everyone, but for me, this is what I found best.
Right. Like, that's a great example of somebody who just gives and gives and gives.
Right.
And probably never takes.
Right. And he's like, no. He's like, it's not for everyone. It's for me. Like, everyone, you can't force yourself to do what you don't want to do. Mm-hmm. You have to, like, live authentically. Because if you're not living authentically, then you're not going to be able to give 100%. Mm-hmm. You're going to always be like if someone literally does just suffer themselves, like, donate a ton of money, donate all their time for the betterment of others. But if they're not enjoying it, then I feel like they're not going to be optimizing their giving ability. Mm-hmm. Whereas the person who, like, really, like missionaries and stuff like that, who really do truly sacrifice, but they enjoy it. They're like, I wouldn't change it for the world. I love it.
That's the word.
Right.
Missionary.
Yeah, they're able to give so much better. Oops. Like, I think that their ability to give is better, and, like, if you're not enjoying it, then you're not, like, it's just a tainted thing. If that makes sense.
I hear you. Hold on, I need to delete some stuff off the desktop because it's gonna stop recording if I don't. Damn it. Sorry to break the flow of conversation there.
No, it's alright. I have to.
I need to do with all this shit. My startup disk is almost full, and the startup disk is like your immediate memory, I think.
Oh.
On the desktop, which is where this is recording to. So I will move all this stuff from the desktop 2. Two documents. Okay.
Good.
So what were we talking about? The Bears? Just kidding.
Some shit.
Oh wait.
147 to 148.
We'll see a little gap.
Yeah.
Sorry, that totally broke the flow. Speaking of flow, I was thinking about, they say when people talk for like extended periods of time, that they become so in sync that their breathing becomes the same and like blinking.
Really?
And yeah, they
I
said
don't know that.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to pay attention to it, but then I was like, I'm not thinking of what I'm definitely not paying attention to what I should be right now.
Yeah.
I jotted something down. So, you are somebody who has experience. What time is it, by the way?
2:24.
Okay. You are somebody who has experienced. You've talked about it openly, depression and anxiety, and stuff like that. And I was wondering, like, what does anxiety feel like to you?
It's like constantly worrying you have something to, like, for me, it's super subjective. Like, I always thought that there was one size fits all, but like talking to other people, it's so different. Mm-hmm. But like for me, it'll be like, so like when, like it'll be, well, for generalized anxiety, it'll be like, I can't like relax. Like I'll be sitting there and I'll always be thinking that I have something to do. Like I'm forgetting something. Mm-hmm. Like, you know how like if you like leave the house and you're like, damn, did I lock the door? Or did I leave the garage open? Mm-hmm. It's like that, but just like about nothing specific. Okay. It's like constantly thinking about it. Or like if if I have to go somewhere and it's like a certain time, I'm like super anxious about like waiting on the time. Like for Christmas, we were leaving at like 3. Mm-hmm. So at like 1 o'clock, I was like constantly checking the time, like just like on edge, or like getting super like caught up in my head. Like for like big social crowds, I'll like be super like constantly caught up in my head. Like, oh fuck, I'll just get like insanely nervous for like nothing. Just like thinking about it.
So it's fair to say it's more of a mental.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's all. Yeah, it's all in my head.
Okay. That's cool because I've been experiencing something recently and I don't know how to pinpoint it. Yeah. But it's like, it's almost like a hyper focus. Like I'll just focus like really tough on you, for example. And then like almost everything else, like I'm just like, boom, like super focused in on that one thing. Yeah. And it's almost like an uncomfortable feeling.
Like tunnel vision kind of?
Yeah, maybe it is, and I don't know if I was just wondering. Like, I'm trying to pinpoint what it is, and I'm just like ruling things out. But it's like it's not like a good, comfortable experience. It's like I'm just hyper focused in on this. Yeah. And like right now, I feel cool, but sometimes it'll happen at work or something.
So like, will you like focus in on like doing a job, or is it just like on like a certain thing?
It's really hard to pinpoint. Like I'll be engaged in a conversation maybe, and it's like I'm just so focused on like the outline of that person, and then I don't know how to articulate it because I've never tried. Yeah. But it's something that I'm trying to figure out, and it's like not a good feeling. Like I have like almost a heaviness in my chest, and I don't know.
That could be like an anxiety type thing, like a panic thing.
Yeah, maybe. But it's not like visual or like nobody would ever.
Oh yeah, no,
see it except myself.
Yeah, no, that's probably like creating an anxiety.
Could be like I don't know, like you said, it's very subjective.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the thing is like about mental illnesses, like no one sees it. Mm-hmm. Like people like one of my best, like one of my friends from class is like super energetic and super peppy, and then she was like, "Yeah, I'm on antidepressants." I'm like, fuck, I never would have guessed that.
Right. You never know.
People see me and they're like, "Oh, but you're always so happy," and I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah, you have no idea, and that's the other weird part about thinking. Like you have no idea what someone is actually feeling inside. Yeah,
it's just I don't know. Like I feel like I'm like super good at masking it too, because like I don't want to be I don't want to be that Debbie Downer. So it's kind of like it's like not like when I'm like being like when I'm depressed, I'm like super like my like upness is much like I'm maybe at like a -1 or a 0, where like when I'm not, I'm at like a 10 usually. Like it's just like a whole different like energy thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of good because I don't want to be like that Debbie Downer. But yeah, it's I don't know. You just put on, I don't know. People get good at masking it. and there's really like no one like way to act, or like there's no one face of it. It affects everyone so differently that's why it's like you can't like stereotype. It's like you're like, oh, I never would have guessed you're depressed. It's like, well, yeah, there's a reason for that. It's not like a physical illness where like you get the flu and you look like shit.
Right.
It's like, no, you get depressed and you don't leave your bed for 3 days.
That's what's scary about mental illness.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard. You could hardly ever detect it, and that's why you hear about when some people like commit suicide, and I had no idea.
Yeah, it's like
he was the happiest boy.
Yeah, it's like
you never would have known.
Yeah, it's because like it's because well, there's such. It's not like a. I mean, there is a stigma, but like it's one of those things where it's like, since it is in your head, at least for me, like I'm like, well, one, people can't see it, so it's hard to be like, oh, well, you don't look sick. Like, why? Like, what do you mean? Like, you don't feel well? So it's like people can't see it, so it's hard to understand. But it's like, since at least for me, like since I know it's in my head, it's almost like a negative feedback loop. It's like, dude, you're depressed. It's just in your head. Like, you can be better. Like, it's your own fault. So it's just like you kind of like it's almost like a self-perpetuating thing where it's like it's not in your head, so you tell yourself you should be better instead of like accepting it for what it is.
Yeah, that's just something I wanted to throw by you because I'm trying to pinpoint what the hell it is. And it's weird. It might not be anything. Maybe there's no, like, technical definition for it.
Yeah. I mean, like if you notice it, just kind of, like, stop. Like, whatever I do is, yeah, just a few breaths in through the nose.
Yeah, and that helps, actually, which is it's why I kind of think, like, it has something to do with anxiety.
Yeah.
Because you just...
I don't know if it's true, but...
And you feel better.
Yeah. That's right, because I know like conscious breathing is a good way to settle down your vagus nerve and just settle down the sympathetic system.
And that's another thing I realized, man. I breathe very shallowly until I force myself to do it. And sometimes I think that's what I think it is. I think I've just had been breathing so shallowly, and now it to the point where my body's like, do something about it, do something.
Yeah, well, yeah, because it could be that because you figure like speaking very like hypothetically, if you're giving short breaths, you're like. Under like it's almost like hyperventilating, so you kind of can trigger that that sympathetic system go like fight or flight, and then it's even more where you get in like that like that attack state, so you freeze up.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, could be it. I mean, especially if the breathing helps. I don't know. Yeah. Let's
do this. Let's end this bitch.
All right.
Let's edit the first one and the second one. Unless, do you have any other topics you want to touch on?
No, I think we exhausted the whole gamut.
Okay.
You also can't say bitch, man. That's offensive.
Do you even know what that means, bro? That began with a female dog.
That's so...
Women are beautiful human beings. They need to be cherished. Cool. All right. This has been episode number 3 of the Me Time Podcast. We never introduced it.
True.
Thanks for listening. We love you guys.
Totes.
Dr. Eric out.
True that. Hey, not yet, homie.